behavioral change consultant, Yuansi Aodike. He joins me live on set for another very interesting talking point. Today, we're basically asking or putting forward the whole concept of should, right? That whole word should, or should, and shoulda. He says it's not real. Should is not real. Yuansi, good morning, compliments, and more so, how is this should concept not real? I'm looking forward.
Greetings, Jason. Greetings to everybody watching. Now, when we use the word should, most times is based not in reality. So this is what he or she should do. As a teacher, they should be doing this. As a husband, as a wife, they should be doing something. As my son, or as a 2-year-old, as a 3-year-old, as a 10-year-old, they should be doing something. And a lot of times when we say what somebody should be doing, it really means they're not doing that thing, right? And sometimes we get emotionally attached to what they should do. We feel emotional distress because they're not doing it and not facing the reality of what they're really doing.
So isn't should almost like, it's the potential sometimes that you're seeing? So, is it like almost like a form of encouragement or an observation to pull you to a better place?
No, you could use it to advise, as advice, because you see the potential in somebody, as you say, but even potential after a while becomes imagination, because there's only so much you could tell somebody, right? And even though you could see, quote unquote, in your mind, great things for them, that mightn't actually be great for them. So getting the emotions, and as a part that could become unhealthy, right? You're stuck in what somebody should be or a situation should be versus seeing exactly what it is.
Well, I'm watching the definition of should, and it says here it's used to indicate obligation, duty, or correctness. Typically, when criticizing someone's action, you should have been more careful. It's almost like it's a critique, as it were. And as he rightfully said, it starts really from the home. Then it goes into sometimes the school environment. And well, I would imagine the workplace. It could be very frustrating when you hear that word in a workplace environment.
It could be a critique, yes, but it's also a critique based on your own personal perception of that person, right? And sometimes even uncommunicated expectation of that person.
And as you rightfully said, based on who's saying it, because if somebody's telling you to do something and they're not doing it themselves, that in itself, somebody giving you advice, and you could look at them and recognize that, well, you're telling me to do something and clearly you don't even partake in what you're telling me to execute. So it come like your words fall down flat.
Correct. So it's not real. And even sometimes we tell ourselves, right now I should be studying, right now I should be doing this, versus acknowledging, okay, I am not studying right now. Why is that? If you understand what I'm saying, because sometimes living in that future, that thing that don't exist, could breed emotions that may not even propel you in that way. Yes, you want to study now, you may have a timetable to study or to work out or to do whatever it is. But keep saying, well, I should, and using this word doesn't breed the results that you want.
It goes back to the local, I don't even know if it's local, it seems like it's more international kind of slang or parlance, as we say, the coulda, woulda, and shoulda. We always hear that, and that usually is more or less a negative connotation, really, when you hear woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's almost a form of regret when people look back on their lives, or you look back on, let's say, a relationship or interview or opportunity business-wise that's lost. And on reflection, you say, boy, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Correct. And this is a delicate thing, because you see that word should, right? That word should sometimes gives us comfort or false comfort instead of getting us out of what we need to do. So let me give you that same example we used just now. I should be working out right now, and I should be this, and saying that it kind of have you in this low kind of vibration, but not really getting you up to do something, versus I am not working out now because I'm lazy. Now you see how that hit the front. I'm not working out right now because I don't have the drive. You face the reality of wherever that situation is, and then it could propel you forward. You're saying this person should, as a wife, as a husband, as a police officer, as a teacher, they should be doing that. And you're saying that, and you're not seeing the reality because right now they're not doing what they need to do. So I'm facing that reality, so I'll know how to deal with it in a healthy way.
How we get ourselves into that place, that kind of almost like you're alive and you're pumping, but you just don't go slow. You're on a kind of treadmill kind of scenario where I should, and you know you could, yeah, you know you're supposed to motivate yourself and get up and do it, but you just, you know what, but I shoulda, coulda, woulda. How we end up there?
A lot of times we end up there because we're not being honest with ourselves, you know. Right? And you know, these conversations we have, a lot of times the base of it just come back to truth and honesty. Right? Because if you're not honest about your current situation, then you can't put the right plans in place. If you're not honest about the person that you're with, whether it is a friend, a relationship with a family member, it could be a romantic relationship. If you're not facing the truth of that, then you can't address it correctly, or you can't put things in place. So then you're kind of just floating around in this kind of semi-fantasy world. You should do that. It mightn't be that, you know, they could be doing that instead of facing, this is who the person is. This is what the situation is, and then let me deal with it.
You know, you strike a chord there, because again, as you rightfully said, it goes back lots of time to, as you identify in the program every week, to that truth, to that understanding of self. But there are many who look at themselves in the mirror, and many people, they lie to themselves, and you live a life to sometimes please others. And there are people who seem to relish and to bask in that kind of existence. You say, how do we break that mold?
Well, the word you said is seem. Right? They seem to bask in it, but most time they don't, because everybody's feel the emptiness inside when they're not being authentic. When you're pretending, even though it might, to other people, it might look glitzy and glamour, right? But you know the emptiness inside, and if you continue doing that, you'll realize how much it degrading your mental health.
Where does one start to really come out of that mindset? And to embrace authenticity, and to come from that place of shoulda to doing it. I'll let you have the final say.
Instead of dwelling on what something should be, understand what it is so you could formulate the correct plan to get a healthy result. Don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
And you heard it for yourself. Should is not real. And that's something based on what Johan told us this morning, probably try to use a little bit less in our vocabulary. And just do. Yeah, Johan say, many thanks as always. Mental health matters. Another impactful conversation. Before we exit and get ready for the morning shot, we must come back with a conversation regarding the Reach Out World Day. That's right. The Translators Network International, they're touching base on this most important day. So details after the break.